This is another round 2 battle in Norwegian Pokemon Premier League, this time between Team Rumblefish and the Fana Sludge Slurpies. Let's see how that shit goes. We see now the Ferret come in, which I really wanted to see last round, which I didn't get to see. Now the Ferret is in here together with the Hydreigon against the Cresselia and the Bisharp. We see the items being Citrus Berry and Life Orb. That Ferret just like asking, hey, what item are you wearing? We see Follow Me now from the Ferret, being able to use that support. Not gonna help much though, as the Cresselia now gets up the Trick Room option now. So we see kind of a slower mode, I guess. We see now the Blissey come in, being bulky as it usually is, as the Bisharp was able to protect itself from any harm last time. And we see the Ice Beam freeze the Metagross on the switch in, as now the Ferret will set up a substitute. I'm still excited to see what that thing does. So we see it has Follow Me, it has Substitute, as we do see the Minimize on the Blissey. Oh, this is how this battle is gonna be. We see now the Blissey being able to avoid that Hammer Arm because of the Minimize, but the return will connect, not really for much damage though. So you see the Ferret now still behind the Substitute, going for the Follow Me, being able to take that knockoff. Also not losing its item because of the Substitute. And the Blissey keeps setting up its Minimizes. But the Hammer Arm does connect through 2 Minimizes, being able to take it down into the red. The leftovers though will be bring it back slightly up into the yellow. So Hammer Arm now takes out the Bisharp. Metagross in Trick Room now with Hammer Arm will actually be able to be faster as it goes, but Trick Room will wear off soon, so we'll not see any more of that, as the Blissey now healing back all that damage from that Hammer Arm that did actually connect. And Blissey now just dealing damage, not opting to not go for another Minimus, as we actually see another Hammer Arm connect onto that Blissey, as the Ferrothorn now is spreading its leeching seeds, leech seeds onto that Metagross, which will bounce from the battlefield, revealing the Clef Key. So Dark Pulse comes into the Ferrothorn. Another Softball will be able to heal out the damage on that Mother Trucker of Blissey. As a Gyro Ball now does a little less than half onto that Hydreigon, which in turn will bounce, as we see now rejuvenated Metagross come in, not suffering from speed loss anymore. As we see the third and final Minimize come on from that Blissey, as the Paralyze, the Thunder Wave, paralyzes the Ferrothorn, still able to get its Leech Seed off onto that Jingly Jangles of the Clef Key. Hammer Arm now does quite a bit of damage onto that Ferrothorn. The Recall from the Iron Barbs though, and the Seismic Toss from the Blissey will be able to do quite a bit of damage onto that Metagross though. So you see the Clef Key being switched out in favor of the Hydreigon, probably wanting to be able to get a Flamethrower off. So we now see the Ferret come in, probably trying to redirect any hit, although the Hydreigon should be pretty fast in this scenario. It should be the fastest Pokemon out there. So we see the Ferrothorn now switched out, fearing the Flamethrower probably from the Hydreigon. Let's see what we see. We see a Helping Hand come on from the Ferret. Will we see Dark Pulse into the Cresselia, not being able to take it out? leaving it with 4%, activating the Citrus Berry, bringing it back up to around 30% as Seismic Toss goes into the Hydreigon. Now we see the fluffy old Ferret redirecting damage from that Hydreigon as the Seismic Toss is able to take out the Cresselia. So the Slurpers are down by 2 Pokemon, but we do see a tiny little Blissey, microscopic Blissey, just tossing things around right now. So Dark Pulse from the obviously choiced Hydreigon now goes into the Protect of the Ferrothorn, as there's not really much the Team Rumblefish can do to this Blissey now, other than just hoping to get hits in a row. But still, whenever a hit comes in, it's usually able to heal off that damage again with the Softball. As the Thunder Wave from the Klefki misses, not able to paralyze. All Dark Bolts also missing. So I have a feeling that we will probably sit here for a while. And you know what? This is gonna take a while, so I'm gonna speed this part up a little bit right now. We see the Thunder Wave now connect, actually. Also the Iron Knight getting in 2 hits on 1 turn. Seismic Toss though takes out that Metagross. So Foul Play also connects, not doing much damage at all. As we now see, we've actually seen like 4 hits in a row connect. There we see a miss, a 2% miss and a paralyze from the Blissey. Another paralyze as Foul Play actually hits again. We've seen a lot of hits, but the good old Team Rumblefish will forfeit this battle, not being able to take this anymore. Okay, I'm gonna gather it, and let's get into game 2. This time, Fana, Sludge, Slurpies are on your left, leading with the Landorus T. If you know the player behind the Sludge Slurpies, you know why he's calling that Landorus a jerk. As we see, it's an Assaultless Landorus being frisked by that fluffy little fluff ball of a Ferret. As we see the Metagross bounce being switched out in favor of that Hydreigon, as we see actually the Brick Break come out from the Landorus. Kind of peculiar to have that on the moveset, as Stab Earthquake does pretty much the same amount of damage to most of this. It would be good, I guess, against Hydreigon, but generally Superpower would be a better move. The Ferret now though is gonna go down to that Psychic. It took that Brick Break really well, considering it was up against Landorus T, which can dish out some power. Was it the Klefki come in here, paralyzing that oh, my mouth is, my throat is so dry. Paralyzing the Cresselia. Obviously the Brick Break now go into the Hydreigon, taking about half of its damage away, a little bit more. As the Hydreigon now is going to switch out in favor of that Metagross, realizing it's not going to be able to dish out the damage it needs. As we see the Landorus now bounce out of there with a U-turn, dealing a decent amount of damage to the Metagross. Although an Earthquake in that scenario probably would have been a pretty nice play, considering the Metagross came in. Not predicting that though. As we see now the Arcanine come in and be paralyzed by that Klefki, as it will be able to get a burn onto that Metagross. Tanking that burn Zen Headbutt like it is nothing, which it kind of is, considering that burn does what it does. Metagross now being Herbo Burn, as Cresselia is paralyzed, so it will not be able to go for the helping hand, which it obviously was trying to set up, considering it went first. Flare Blitz, though, comes in from the Arcanine being able to do about half damage to that Klefki. Probably would have liked that helping hand to deal a bit more, as it now pretty much relies on a roll. If another one will take it out, if it even will be able to get that attack off. Arcanine is gonna bounce, so it's not gonna go for that second Flare Blitz. As we see now, the Jerk of Landorus come in once again. Take a foul play from the Klefki, doing a pretty big amount of damage. So we see Trick Room now come up from Cresselia. So we're used to seeing Landorus T being like one of the fastest thing that's always scarfed, but here it operates in Trick Room, not underspeeding that Hydreigon though, so obviously it has to have some speed into it, if I'm not completely mistaken, which I probably am because I'm tired. But see now the Blissey coming back again, probably in there to try to turn into a tiny little thingamajig. See the Ice Beam not really doing much damage. So you actually see the Seismigard, no minimize coming in from the Blissey this time, as the Metagross hangs on just barely after that burn. Blissey now paralyzed, not being able to move, as the tiny little Ice Beam will be able to do the last notch of damage onto that Metagross. Now the Klefki and Hydreigon are left on the Team Rumblefish side. Foul Play not doing too much damage to the Cresselia, as we see the Heal Bell come on from the Blissey this time, getting rid of that paralysis. Also on the Arcanine in the back, as an Ice Beam will be able to leave the Team Rumblefish with just a Klefki. Foul Play though also able to take out that Cresselia, but we now have a non-paralyzed Arcanine ready to hit the field again. So pretty much this game looks like it's in the bag, and there it actually is, all the way in the bag for Fana Sludge Slurpies, taking a 2-0 victory.